Hello, welcome to week 6. We are in week 6 already. So you'll remember that last week we had a virtual class. You worked on your curriculum maps. I'm starting to go through them. I should be done grading them this weekend and taking a look at them. I'm going to be giving you some feedback on your curriculum map, so feel free to ask any questions that you might have. So this week, we're going to take a look at the unit plan. And the thing about the curriculum map is it's a lot, right? It was a lot of information the whole entire school year. So you're trying to figure out, what am I teaching? How does one unit blend into another, or are they very separate units where I have to be mindful of how I end a particular unit and start a new one? Okay, and maybe a math curriculum, you might want to have some scaffolding that happens where students can see how one thing blends into the next. But maybe in history or in an English class, you might be covering a particular writing genre like poetry, and then the next genre is narrative writing, or it's fictional writing. Okay, so it could be units within your curriculum could be very kind of self-contained and not flowy. They don't flow into each other. So let me pull up the template. So what you would have filled out, something like this. So this is what we're going to do this week. Take a look at your curriculum map again, and this time you're going to select one unit, okay? So remember there was a row called unit topics. I want you to select that, just one unit. We're not going to work on the whole school year, okay? We're going to start small. So let's pretend that the unit I'm going to select for my unit plan is 8th grade expectations, okay? And I will go over to my unit plan template. I'll put my name, my subject and grade level. In this case, it's English 8th grade. My unit plan title would be 8th grade expectations. My essential question or big idea for the unit, if I go back to my curriculum map, is what makes people successful. Because this is what I'm going to talk about for this whole unit. I want my students to be thinking about success and setting them up for that success at the beginning of the school year. So I'm going to come back to my unit plan, and I'm going to type in what makes people successful. Okay, so this will really be the kickoff for the school year. And if you think about it, we could take this in a lot of different directions. We could talk about what makes people successful and talk about their various skill sets and motivations and behaviors. But we could also study different successful people. And I would encourage you, no matter what your curriculum is, that the more you can tailor your curriculum to the things that your students are interested in, right? Or pop culture that's current of this time, and you know your kids are into a certain sports athlete or singer or gamer nowadays. So whatever it is that you feel like would make your students really understand that particular topic, okay, or that unit. So the next piece is unit concepts. Students will know. Now this is different than unit skills. Students will be able to. Unit concepts, I want you to think about, what do you want the students to be able to know through the duration of this unit? So I want students to know in this unit, I would want my students to know various traits of successful people. I'd want them to know that nothing comes easy, that things take hard work. And so, and the list could go on. So these are the things that I would want my students to know as they're learning throughout the unit. Okay, what do I want my students to be able to do? What are the skills I want them to possess through the unit, by the end of the unit? Okay, if you go back to your curriculum map, you'll notice that there was a row there, a spot for skills. And I had indicated social skills, time management, and keyboarding. Those were three things that were really important to me. And keep in mind, for this unit, I was looking at just the month of August, probably just the first 11 days of school. So I don't have a lot of time to talk about a whole lot of skills and ensure that they have mastered these skills by the end of the 11 days. But you can start with a couple, and remember that this is going to be something, at least in this case for this unit, I see this as developing skill sets, setting the tone, but then working on these skills and then additional skills of success throughout the rest of the school year, because we obviously want to maintain that culture of success, that culture of kids working hard and setting high expectations. Okay, regardless of what your curriculum is, your subject is, these are really essential pieces. So going back to the unit plan, students will be able to, I said, social skills, time management, and keyboarding. Okay, social skills, time management, and keyboarding. And the reason I selected keyboarding is because I know that in the English Language Arts Standards for 8th grade that students are going to be required to word process quite a bit and will be assessed on a computer. So they need to have that experience. Okay, so what materials and resources will I need for this unit? Well, I'll probably need some videos of successful people so that I can start building my presentations. Maybe some literature or books, magazines of successful people, or that include stories of successful people. So this is really kind of the nuts and bolts of your unit plan, and this will grow as you decide what kind of lessons you'd like to develop. Okay, so let's move down to lessons. Now, a unit plan, you have to think of it like kind of an umbrella. It's kind of this overarching umbrella over multiple lessons, okay? So a unit plan doesn't always have just 3 lessons. Just for the purpose of this assignment, I have 3 lesson boxes here listed. But a unit plan could have 12 lessons. It could have 2 really long lessons. A unit plan is the whole unit, and within the unit are multiple lessons, okay? So the first lesson of every unit, doesn't matter your subject again, the first lesson of every unit is to introduce the unit, to kick it off. How are you going to introduce this to your students so that they're excited to learn about what makes people successful, or whatever it is that your unit plan is about, okay? And I like to ask this question: how will you hook the students? How will you get them to get excited, okay? All you will do in these boxes here is write a summary of your idea. You don't have to create the lesson. We're not there yet. This is just a unit plan template. So I just want to see and hear your idea for how you would kick off this unit plan. So in a summary of a paragraph or two, I'm not putting a word count on it. I just want to hear your thoughts. It could expand to, the second page. That's fine. It doesn't have to be kept to one page. If it expands to 3 pages, that's fine. But I want to hear your idea on how would you kick off this lesson. Lesson 2, this might be the next lesson in the unit. I'm going to let you make that decision. If you want this just to be a random lesson in the unit that you would like to teach, this is a particular lesson you'd like to teach, then just summarize 2 additional lesson ideas, okay? So for example, the way I would kick off this lesson is I would have the students watch maybe a documentary on some famous people, where we examined their lives and their upbringing, and we had a discussion about what did it take for them to get to where they are, okay? And then the way I would hook the students is I would hook them by connecting to somebody that they are into, or there's if it's a person that's really popular in their sphere of influence. Okay, so then after that I'd move into lesson 2, and lesson 2 might be about, let's examine skills that you currently possess. So maybe now in lesson 2 I'm going to have the students reflect on themselves and have an honest assessment on what skills do you possess today that you feel will contribute to your success. And this might be hard for them because maybe some of our students may not see themselves as very successful. And if that's the case, then this is a great opportunity to help build that positive thinking, positive self-esteem, and really just creating a culture of success in your classroom, okay? So that, for me, that would be lesson 2. Lesson 3 might be then a writing assignment, a reflective writing assignment around where the student sees themselves going, maybe their goals for the school year, what they hope to accomplish by the end of the school year. So as you can see, these are just ideas. I'm just summarizing ideas, okay? And again, you can be as detailed as you'd like. I don't want just 1 sentence or 2 sentences. I would like at least a paragraph, okay? A paragraph typically has about 4 to 5 sentences in it, so that could be your minimum. But right here in these boxes, it's just a summary of each lesson, okay? With lesson 1 always being a unit kickoff.